Hello everyone and welcome to Warlocks Play Orcs Must Die 2. For those of you who are joining me after the playthrough for the first game in this series, welcome back. For those of you who are just joining me for this new one, welcome. Orcs Must Die 2 follows directly on the heels of the first game, released about a year later in 2012, and it's more or less the same gameplay. But it's got a bunch of new baddies, traps, levels, spells, and actually some new gameplay as well. One thing that you can do in Orcs Must Die 2 is, well, I won't spoil it for you. We've already got our character created. We're going to be playing as the War Mage again for this particular playthrough. Let's go ahead and jump right in.
Was this how it would end? Trapped, surrounded, my power lost. I deserved so much more. They were coming for me. Once I was their queen, now they would be my doom. Then, out of nowhere, new rift? It was different, fragile. I felt a trickle of power returning, barely there. Not enough to mind control even a single orc. Still, the rift offered an escape. As soon as I stepped through, I saw him. Standing right in front of me with that ridiculous grin plastered across his face. I only had one thing to say. Run!
Okay, yes, like I said, we are playing as the War Mage, but there is an option in this particular game to play as a sorceress, because she's coming back through, well, let's just say the rifts are reopening, and that's not a good thing. And we can chalk that up to maybe the incompetence of our particular character, but that's the story. Anyway, so this particular character's got the same loadout that you see before with the wall traps, and then of course we've got the pit traps in the middle there on the ground. What's new about him though is he's got this blunderbuss. The blunderbuss is a short range, basically it's a shotgun. Does have a cooldown though, so you can't rapid fire with it. Also can't zoom with it right now. Secondary fire though is a grenade, which is actually pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and jump right in.
Killing season.
I believe the orcs, yeah, they do set off those grenades, and direct contact does also set it off. Does have a bit of a spread effect, as you saw just there with a couple of orcs taking shots from just one trigger pull. It does have really diminishing returns as far as damage at range is concerned, though. So you want to be at mid-range at the closest. If you look here, you'll also see a new potion type. These are mana potions, something that was definitely missing from the first game, and something that would have helped me out in a lot of rough situations in that last game if you guys did watch that. Oop, missed that one there. You know, despite being a shotgun, it is actually somewhat difficult to aim because it doesn't have the biggest spread. It has just enough to be able to hit more than one orc if they're clustered. You'll also see off to the right, there's a minecart there. We can switch the minecart by doing that, and you'll see up in the mini-map in the upper right-hand corner that a new track has highlighted. Now, we'll want the minecart to come back this direction. So that way we can run over some orcs right here. Let's put down some more traps. We got money.
I like this one.
Oh, not quite enough. will say I do somewhat miss the zoom headshot gameplay of the crossbow from the first game. I'm actually not sure if it's an unlockable later on in this game. I do know the sorceress has a single target attack though in her wand, but it's not capable of getting headshots, at least not at the very beginning. So we are missing some of the gameplay, but as we open up our upgradable spellbook in just a little bit, you'll see that there are lots of things besides traps that we can upgrade in this version of the game. Oh, got 2 kills there. That is one of the nice things with the shotgun. One thing that the sorceress's wand can also do is it can charge shots and kind of get an AoE attack. Takes just about half a second to charge it up, and then a half second more to charge it completely. So it's pretty quick. It also doesn't use magic, unlike this grenade, so it is useful to continuously use. It's also pretty useful on the big heavy targets. But I think we're going to enjoy this guy's playthrough a little bit more right now. And who knows, we might do some bonus episodes featuring the sorceress later on. Alright, as you can see, we do have a bunch of more things that we can upgrade. We have traps here, and I don't know if this unlocks the trap for us or if this upgrades the trap. I'm actually not certain. We're going to wait until we get some more skulls to... oh, I guess maybe it unlocks it. So we've got levels here, and then we've got unique abilities. Let's go ahead and take a look at this arrow wall real quick. Additional damage is good. Arrows sometimes set enemies on fire. That sounds fun. Arrow walls can be placed on ceiling. Huh. That is a new trick. Folks, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of this playthrough is I actually never got very far in Orcs Must Die 2. I think I played it for like 2 hours or so when it first came out, and then moved on to other things. Not because it was bad. I think I just had bigger things going on at the time back in 2012. So it kind of sat languishing in my Steam library for a long time, begging to be played. So this is pretty good too. Let's check out... So we do, see here is that crossbow that we were talking about. So this one might, if we do feel like we want that crossbow gameplay again, we can do that. Here you'd find Wind Belt, Ring of Lightning. Yeah, there's things here that you guys will have recognized from the first game, Flame Bracers. Oh, well, this one unlocks via the campaign. Oh, and these are your DLCs. Dwarven Missile Launcher. Huh, that's new. Trinkets. These are just passive effects that just they just happen. I think they do have an active effect. I'm actually not sure how to do them. Well, let's not spend any gold on them right now. And then of course we have we got some vanity items. 50 skulls. Ouch. Classic order, nice. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a level for the arrow wall, and then we'll leave this alone for now because we've got the new spike trap as well. So, all right, let's continue.
Hey, look! Another rift opened up. Thought I closed all of them.
Where are we? What are these tunnels?
We're in the Dwarven mines, where I work.
You're a miner now?
Not like I had an in-demand skill set beyond the whole kill orcs, cast spells thing. Plus, turns out people weren't exactly great
So there is some story that we're unfortunately missing in the background. In future episodes, I'll turn down the music and the sound, but I'll turn up that voice so we can hear. But basically, what the War Mage was saying is that after closing the rifts at the end of the last game, he found himself out of a job because no one really needed a War Mage anymore. So he started working in the Dwarven mines, and ooh, this is new. You got angled traps. And not everything is perfectly square any longer. Well, that makes setting up some crossfire both more difficult and less difficult. One thing you'll see that I do actually really appreciate in this version of the game is if you look in the mini-map, in the upper left side, it tells you which side the orcs are going to come out of next. So
Orc pincushions coming right up.
let's just do 4 for now. We'll save some gold to do the other side in a little bit, and let's go ahead and get going. Seed the area with some grenades. One thing that is nice about the blunderbuss compared to the crossbow is because its damage does increase when you're closer to the bad guys. It is useful for defending yourself in an emergency, unlike the crossbow. The crossbow kind of required mid-range at the closest to really protect yourself. It wasn't the best.
This'll be fun.
Yeah, it's at close range, unless you were really good with those snap headshots. Folks who are really good at first-person or third-person shooters might find themselves good at those sorts of attacks. Well, we do have an orc that's running down there. Let's take care of him real quick. Nice.
Some new decorations.
Oh, not quite enough gold. And they are also coming out of the other side now. So now is where the fun really begins, because we're going to have orcs coming out of both sides, and that's going to make defense a little bit tricky. Oh, missed with that grenade.
Now how many was that? The horde is
Oh,
escaping.
I let one through. That's me not paying attention. That's okay. Though, ooh, this is a big help. For those of you who watched the first gameplay, I had to do this. You have to do this weird staggering thing anytime there's stairs there, and it actually made defending stairs incredibly awkward and a bit difficult. So now, though, it looks like you can just layer it right on down. And not quite enough.
Stabbing time.
Luckily, it seems the orcs, for the most part, only come out one side at a time at first. Still useful.
Get down below.
And that's probably how the orcs snuck through.
When that elemental falls to pieces, it will leave behind two smaller ones.
Oh, this is a new bad guy. That's an earth elemental. When elementals die, well, at least an earth elemental does, it leaves behind two smaller elementals. So you effectively have to kill them twice.
Kill streak.
See, there's 1 and 2. They're pretty fast too.
Oh yeah. A tower of power.
Alright, let's get some
Arrows for
extra
everyone.
ones up.
Party starting, and you're all
Oh,
invited.
final wave. I do like that it announces that.
Warning, may cause death. Now how many was that? Nah, who cares?
These guys have got some armor now. There we go. Well, if it wasn't for that one slipping through, we would have had a full 5 stars on that one. We'll have to play that again. So here's a new thing, endless levels unlocked. That might be something if I need to grind between episodes just to get a little bit more extra power to beat something difficult. That might be a good thing. You know what, I don't think I'll actually do that for now. So, and then we have a healing trinket. So this is, they're probably equipable items just like spells and things like that were in the first game. So we'll experiment with that in the next level. Let's grab our spell book again. Let's see. Passive heal rate increased. Active healing mana cost reduced. Oh, this would be actually pretty cool. Let's go ahead and increase that healing rate. I like that. That sounds good. We liked using those grenades. Let's go ahead and increase that. Heavy enemies, that sounds good. That'd be things like the earth elementals. So we'll do that. And let's... Oh, Coinforge is back. For those of you who watched that first game playthrough, you kind of saw how unfortunately useless the Coinforge actually was. Perhaps this will be a little bit more useful in this particular version. And let's reset some spikes faster. That sounds good. I do like the spike traps. I just didn't really have the time to set any down that last game. So, alright, let's go ahead and do one more level for this playthrough.
What's your deal anyway? Why'd you send all those orcs through the rift?
The Order mages were weak and old, unwilling to rule as they should. The Orcs were a tool to carve away the corruption and filth.
So, major power trip, huh? I got it.
Alright, for that story little bit, talks about the how the sorceress, or why the sorceress sent through all those orcs to attack, and our war mage, being the incredulous little, prankster that he is, basically said, oh, it was just a power trip, and it's kind of what it was, to be honest.
Ooh, shiny.
Oh, be careful there. Don't want to run off that edge. Let's go ahead and just... can we put some here? Yes, we can. just put those there. We'll save the rest of the money for the next side.
Freak you out.
Ooh, kobolds are back. That is something that I need to see if this game does. In the last game, when you picked the spells in your spellbook, oh, which I forgot to do. I have an empty slot. Shame on me. No healing trinket for this level. When you picked your spells, it told you what bad guys came in, so you can plan a strategy. And I think this game does it as well. I just need to check it out. Stab.
Let's do it again.
A little present for you.
It's killing time.
So I think what we do on this particular level, especially once the orcs start coming through both sides at once, is we just lock down one section of it, one side, with as many traps as we can muster, and then we guard the other side as we build it up.
Yes.
Oh, not quite enough. Let's see what side they come out first.
Let's roll.
Nope. Okay, orcs are coming out of the other side as well now. Luckily, it seems our traps are taking care of most of them. I did say most. Oh, we've got some random straggler back there that's going to cost us some time to go hunt down. Oh, grenade's going to miss him. That was weird.
That was fun.
Alright, let's continue with some spike traps here. 2, 3.
Stab it tough.
And if anybody sneaks through, like those kobolds, well, they're in for a nasty surprise. Oh, right off the edge. Oh, okay, I guess kobolds are a little fast for spike traps in this particular game. That is something to keep in mind. I think what we do is we remove that first layer of spike traps and put the glue trap in there instead.
For mass orc killing.
And we do that between waves, just like in the old game.
How it's done. Try this on for size. Whenever you guys are ready. Wow, that's a lot of death.
The theory behind those tar pits is that because orcs have to step fully across it before its effect ends, the kobolds are going to trigger this spike trap before they completely leave the tar pit. So help slow down those nasty little guys. One thing that is new in this particular game, as you saw there, is you get skulls for victory, and then you get bonus skulls. That's going to be important because there's so much more in this game to upgrade compared to previous games. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this particular episode. I appreciate everyone coming and joining me for the sequel for that first tryout of Warlocks play for myself. Anyway, my episodes are going to come out most Sundays, so if you'd like to see more content as it's released, you can like and subscribe to our channel. Again, I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.